एक मिनट रुको यार. Hi all, I'm starting now. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you confirm if you are able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen? So last time we discussed yesterday till section 10. So remaining OPQT program output is remaining for that. So have you completed this output? Like what will be the output for this program? So this will be cover all the concept OP, Q and T. So inside this OPT, what will be the output for that program, and for this P program, and then Q and then T? Can anyone confirm? Have you completed this?
I'm sorry, Amanya, but we'll complete it. Didn't get the
Okay.
time.
Okay. So these all are related for. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So look like many people is not yet joined. So okay. So here, this class O, we have the same concept we have already repeated many times. So if you run this program, you can compare with your output and this output. So here, see, this will be the output. Why? Because of this non-static variable, non-static method is there, and after that we are creating two objects. Based on this object we are assigning some reference. Based on the reference we are assigning some value, and then we are calling some test1 method, and then again we are doing this operations from this test2 and reassigning this variable before test2 call. So this will be the output for this. If you want, you can take this as a reference and try to check, because many times we covered this all concept. And for this queue program, so this queue program have this is, so inside that also we have a non-static variable method. Inside that they are doing some integer non-static variable. So they are creating based on the p1 reference. So whatever the test one have p1 data, so that you p1 dot I is there. So p1 dot I they are calling here. So I is 1 and p2 dot I is 2 here from the main method, and they are assigning here. And after that they are calling some non-static test2 method, and they are doing some operations, and after that taking some SOP. So if you run this program, you will get 2 1 and 1 2 will be the output, because we have two SOP. So for this 2 1 and here 1 2 will be the output, just to compare how it is happening and all. And then we have a queue program. So in this queue program, this is very complex program here, because we have a multiple calls is going on. So this get object is there, object creations is there, and then after that they are printing all this object created, whatever the object has created, for that they are printing this. So if you run this program here, in that cases you will get this one. So first is queue constructor, and then after that we have a, based on the section 10 class this package, then class name at the rest object reference id, unique id will be generated for all the reference. This will, because all as the get object and all, and this constructor has called from the line number 12. So queue constructor was there, and all are, this is get object. So get object will call based on the class sex package at the dot class at the rate get object name, unique name will be there for all the object reference. So if you are calling get objects, you will print this one. And then we have this method. So class T have uh, one variables, and then one constructor parameterized, and one in type of method is there, and they are doing some operations creating the object and assigning some constructor variable, because integer type is there. And after that they are doing get. So get means call this. So return I will be printed here, and whatever the I will printed, this SOP will generate. Like that we have S2 also, 190 is there as a constructor, parameterized constructor. So this is, this dot I means this I, private int I will we have like this I. So whatever value as assigned 190 will be come here, and in get dot return method will be printed. So if you run this program, just you compare based on your understanding of concept. So here 90 90 90 for the first time, because 90 has assigned, and second time 190 was assigned as a constructor, parameterized constructor. So this 190 was there. So till now we covered section 10. So this section 10 has covered all this concept which we discussed till now, of 1 to 9, and now we will complete this section 11. So in this section 11, in this section 11, so this is enum. So in Java we have a enum concept. So we will see what is enum in Java and why we are using enum in Java. So if you are getting any concept, first you have to search anywhere, either Java T point or W3, any of the website you can refer for this concept. So enum is a one concept which is in Java. So enum is a special class that represent a group of constant. In that cases we will use enum. So how we will create a enum, like the class, like that, the same we are creating class employee, class salary, class department, like that. Before this name we have to mention enum as a keyword. So once you enum, use the enum keyword, see this, to create a enum use this enum keyword. Instead of class or interface, just use enum as a keyword, then enum has been created. So once you created the enum, so in that enum is a special class that represent group of constant. Like if you have constant, group of constant data, group of constant variables, in that cases we will use a enum. So like suppose if you have a days, so days, we can create a enum as a days, and we have multiple constant, group of constant days is there, like Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all. So these all related things we are creating a enum. Like suppose if you need to define some question pattern, your applications which will manage the question patterns, online applications, online examinations, in that you have to categorize this question patterns as a low level, medium level, high level. So you need to create one enum as a label, and then in that constant you have to pattern. So if you create a enum, so all the constant variables will be start from all the capital letter. So by using separating it by comma, so like that we can create a enum. So this is enum label, enum name as a label, and we have a three cat, low level, high level, and mid level is there. So this enum is created. So once you run this program for this enum, so see what have this main method is there. After enum created, one public class main method is there, inside main method is there, public class main is there, inside main method is there. Inside this main method we are creating this object from enum. So we can create an object for enum also. So label my varchar equal to label dot medium. So by using class, by using this class we are calling some medium. So label is a class, dot medium is a some variable, constant variables is there inside this enum. So label is a enum, sorry, label is a enum, inside that we have a some mediums are there. So directly we can call this mediums only. So if you will do SOP of my var, so medium will be printed. So like that we are creating enum. So enum is a short form of enumerators, son, and means is listed. So there, this is the program. So enum also we can use in switch statement, like switch we seen, like we have for each, for loop, while loop, do while loop, like that we have a switch statement is there. So the switch statement will continue multiple operations to perform, and by using case 1, case 2, case 3 and break the statements and all. So in Java I have switch statement. So enum we can use switch statement also. So see like how we created a enum as a label inside low level, high level, mid level is there. Now one more class is their main class. So inside that main method is there. In main method we created enum object. So enum name is label. My variables means some reference we created, and after that label dot medium means this we are calling. Now we need to check once the mediums will be there. Once the enums mediums will be there, in that time we will print the value else not. So we have to check all the conditions. If instead of medium, if low will be there, then we have to print low level. If high will be there, then we have to print high level. If medium will be there, then we have to print mid level. But they have hard coded here, so like a label dot medium they are calling. But we need to check in the switch statement. My where is a reference. My where is a reference. If class, so this is switch statement inside open braces, close braces. We have a multiple class will be there. So that cases will be there. That cases we have to check the patterns. So my where, if my where is a reference, so whatever the data is coming in my where, we have to check either low. If case low, then we have to print low level. If not, then we have to break this SOP, this case, and then after that we will go for the medium case. If our worker is coming as a mid level, then we have to print this SOP, else we will break this. If case as high is there, means worker is high is there, so this will go for the case high, and this will be print, and this will break like this. But in this conditions, what is there? Mid is already we called here. Label dot medium as a mid. So my worker value is mid here. So this will come in this switch statement. Switch my worker as a medium. So once medium is there, so first conditions will break, and then second conditions will satisfy. So once this conditions will satisfy, the mid level will be printed, and after that no need to check this out. So this is switch, and enum only is used for the constant similar type of variables. In that cases we will define a enum, and based on the class, instead of class interface we have to put this enum, and then directly we can create open braces, close braces, and enum should be all capital letter with the semi uh, with the separator of comma. And suppose if you are creating this enum for month, so we have some January, February, March, April, like that. So all 12 constant variables is there, so for that we can create a enum also. So depends on the requirement we will create enum. If we'll go here for the first program, so this is section 11. So in this section 11 package we have to declare, so this class we have a section 11. So in this section 11, this is simple enum, empty enum we can say. This is an empty enum, just we created enum as a and nothing inside that. That is also applicable, is a valid. No main method and none, no parameters and nothing is there. Empty enum also we can create. Now this one, second one is a B. So this is a B. So this B class having section 10. Sorry, this one is different. Control it. So this is section 10. We will go for the section 11. In this section 11, this is package we declare, and now we have a multiple class is there, interface is there, and enum is there. In a single package b.java we created three things. One is empty enum, empty class, and empty interface. That is also valid, not an issue. Now we have this enum e. So enum we created e. Inside that all the constant are there, right? So always constant should be anything with this character should be capital letters and numeric if you are using. So the same we can use. So here we created similar type of constant c1, c2, c3, c4 as a enum e. Now we have class f. Inside that we have a main method, and in main method sop e.c1 means e is a enum. So based on that enum, if you want to call particular enum, then based on the class dot you can call. So sorry, based on the enum dot you can call. So enum is e. So e dot c1 if you call, then c1 will be printed, this one. If you call e dot c3, then this will be printed. So inside that main method is there, so directly we can run this program. If you run this program here, so this c1 and c2 will printed from here. C1 and C2 will print from here because we mention enum dot C1 means C1 data will be printed, enum dot C2 means C2 data will be printed. And all enum is separated by comma, and directly we created enum. And characters, integers also we can use with the enum, constant data, constant variable, but always characters should be capital letters while we creating the enum. Now we'll go for this class G. So class G also have multiple enum is there, constant 1 2 3 4 is there, and then class H is there. Now what we are doing inside this class H, we are creating object of enum, so that is also applicable. We can create the object of enum. So g1 equal to g dot con means based on this, directly while we creating the object we are doing g1 dot con means this called, and g based on this g2 equal to g dot class name dot con. So like that also we can call this enum while we creating the object. In that time, instead of enum dot variables name we can use. So once you print g1 reference, then what will be the output, and once we print g2 reference, then what will be the output. So in this case con1 and con2 will be printed. Why? Because we are trying to create an object of g1 equal to enum dot con. So this con will be called, and enum dot con4 means this will be for, and based on the reference we are putting in SOP. So just enum is nothing but similar type of constant value while we need for our business requirement. In that cases we will create enum. Enum we can create multiple uh, constant variables by using comma separator, and always will have a if. So in this case mostly enums will be created from this capitals only, all the characters and always capitals. So that is recommended, but if you are using as a small is not an issue, that is also applicable I think. So here see here, we have created enum as a I, and this is test1 test2 test3 all are small characters. So if you seen in this real-time project, always you will see enums will be has a capital letter of characters, but not an issue. If you are doing, there is no compilation error will come, that will be valid. So here what they are doing, they are creating the I reference object, creating I ref1 reference, and then I1 which is enum dot test3. So this will be printed, and again what they are doing based on the reference I1 dot test1, they are doing this reference equal to I1 dot test1, they are calling because already this created. So they are doing ref1, so this test1 will be printed here. If you run this program, so this test3 and test1 will be printed. So these all are the way how we will create a enum, what are the enums are there, how many type of enums we can use. So this, so this is, these all are the customized enum means they can create some enum as a k, and t1 t2 t3 like a constant variables they created by using comma. And then we have a main method, we are created the object of enum k, and based on the class name dot particular enum we are calling here, and reference, based on the reference we are putting in SOP. So that is fine. So t1 is available, t3 is also available, so these two statement is fine, but t5 is not there, only t4 is there. So we created enum of T1, T2, T3, T4, but T5 is not available and we are trying to call here T5. So T5 cannot be resolved or it is not a field. That error you will get. While you compile, in that time you will get an error because we have only 4 type of constant variable is there inside this enum. So here compile time error will happen. Now we have a class M. This is class. So we can create a class, we can create an interface, we can create a enum. So this is class. Inside this class we created enum. So that is also applicable. Inside the class we can create enum. So here what we have done, just we created enum en, and inside that constant variable, all those constant are there, constant similar type of constant variables c1, c2, c3, c4. Now we have main method. So inside this main method we are calling this one object en, enum of en, and then reference is e1. Just we created anything you can create as a reference, and then en dot c4 we are calling. So this reference of sop ea e1 c4 will print, and e2 dot c3 we are calling. So reference of e2 equal to e3 will be printed. This enum c3 will be printed. So if you run this program here, c4 and c3 will be there. So inside the class also we can create enum. Instead of class also we can create enum. So this is a class n. Inside that class we can create enum, and then what we are doing, we have a multiple enum is there, like 4 type of enum is there, con1, con2, con3, con4. So for that also, while we accessing this, so we can create a array for this also. So in main method we have created array of enum. So enum is en, enum name is en. So en dot reference, reference can be anything. So enum dot reference and a square bracket means this is array. So we are creating the array, and enum means en. This en class name dot values means class name dot values means all the values will come, con1, con2, con3, con4, because based on the reference class dot values means all the things will come, all the enums will be come. Now what we are doing here, we are using for loop. So one by one I have to print. In that cases we will go for the for loop. So for, we define integer I equal to 0, integer type of I equal to 0, comma, semicolon, I less than equal to this array, array reference is all dot length, because we need to check the length, how many data inserted inside that. We know the 4 data is there, but how compiler knows how many data inside this value, en dot value. So en dot value is al type, all type means all type is a reference of array. So how we will get the size of array, al all dot means reference dot length. So reference dot length will get a size of array. So now what we are doing, we are initializing I equal to 0, semicolon, I comma I say less than equal to all dot length means array dot size length is less than. Then we will do some operation post increment later. Once we conditions will satisfy this and complete this execution, then we will do the post increment. And till now what we will execute once the this conditions will false, I is less than equal to all dot length. So in that case what will happen, first time is 0 and I is 0, I is 0 dot, first time is 0, first 0, so semicolon 0, I value is 0, 0 less than equal to array of size is 0, 1, 2, 3, so 4 is there, right? So array size will be 4, equal to is there, so till 4 that will be executed, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then I plus plus will be incremented. So if you run like this, Once this condition is satisfied, 0 less than 4, yes, fine. So 0 less than 4 means this condition is satisfied, and then array a all dot I value is first time index of 0. So we have index of 0 1 2 3 4. So this is the index of 0. I means 0 here. So index of 0, what is the value? Con 1. Index of 2, second time, what will be the value? I1 means start from, this is index value. So which will be start from 0 1 2 3 4. So 0, 1 is this one, 2 is this one, 3 is this one, like that. So once you execute this program, so this is array type of concept in that. So once you execute this program, till 4 will be there, output 1 2 3 4. And why we are getting some exception, array out of bound exception? Because we are comparing here 4. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
It
Are you
will
able
be
to
less
hear me?
than, not equal to, right? Integer
Yeah, equal to also
0.
you can do, or not an issue. Once you do less than or equal to, less than is fine. There is no error. If you do less than, then there will be no error.
Hmm.
See, there is no error because we checked from i's array of length size is 4. So we are checking less than 4 because index of array of index which will start from 0. So 0 1 2 3, 0 1 2 3. So it will check 4 time only. But if you do here equal to, means it will check 5 times. 0 1 2 3 4, right? Because
But
array
we
of
don't need
size
that
is,
because we have just four. One, two,
yeah,
three,
we
four,
have 4,
right?
right?
So equal to we don't need it, right? Because we are starting with zero.
Yeah, equal to is not needed, but equal to is not needed, but if you will do this equal to, then you will get a exception. So this is my concept. If you do this 0, means this will be array out of bound exception from this fourth line, but equal to is not required here. Understand?
Yeah.
But if you do something, then you will get a index of bound of exception, because index 4 out of bound or for the length of 4, section 11 and main class, line number this. So it should be not equal to, but if you are putting, that is also not fine. But while you
Hmm.
execute that, in that time array out of bound exception will come. So like that also we can create array of enum, and then we can execute one by one. But here in this program we have class O. So class O have enum test. We have a multiple constant enum as created as a test type. Now what we are doing, we are creating the object test t1 equal to, now based on the enum we are calling c2, based on the enum we are calling c4. Here we have t1 and t2 reference, all are unique reference. So now sop t1 we are calling, sop t2 we are calling. And then in this line number 14 we are doing t1 dot ordinal and t2 dot ordinal. We will check what is ordinal. And then in line number 16 again, what is there? Integer I
Mhm.
test. So this is test dot t3, means integer I test is the enum. So this is a variable integer I, inside that they are doing test dot t3 dot ordinal. So that also we will check, and then we are printing I value. So if you execute this one, so first time c2 will be there, and then c4 will be there, and then ordinal means like a first is there, second, third, fourth, 0. Ordinal means t2 dot ordinal means c4. So 1 2 3 4. What is ordinal here? And in this case c3 dot ordinal. So t2 is a c4 type, and t. Okay, we'll see what is ordinal in enum. enum in Java. If you see here, so what is ordinal method? So ordinal of an instance of enum is returned via the ordinal function. This method reflects order of enum declaration, which is starting from constant given ordinal 0 to enum declaration. Okay, so here ordinal means this one C2. So yeah, so see, this will be a start this what is this position of this, like function given ordinal. What is the position of all the enums, like which index has started? C1 is started from G1 index of 0, C2 is started from index of 1, C3 is started from index of 2, and C4 is started from index of 3. So this will define, ordinal will define the positions, like which positions enum has defined or declared, and it will be a start from 0 to. So here T1 is what type? T1 dot ordinal. T1 is a reference of this one C2, because we are calling here C2. So C2 is the position of 0 1. So this will be 1. So output will 1. And in this to T2 dot ordinal. So T2 dot ordinal means T2, this reference is a C4 type, right? So C4 means C4. C4 is 0 1 2 3. So 3. And after that we have a this one T3. So this T3 dot ordinal. So T3, again what we are creating a variable inside that based on this enum dot constant value we are calling, and put it on ordinal as a method. So if you'll hover here, so this is java dot len enum ordinal method is there. So if you'll get here also what is enum and why we are using this. So this will return 3. So 0 1 2. So this will be the position of 2 here, which will be start from 0 to 1 2, like this. Then we have a next class. So we have to define this package here. So this is section 11 package which have enum. So in this queue we have package section 11, then enum p is there. P have constant 3 variables, and then q is there. They created 3 type of object. P1 equal to p1 dot value of. So here they are doing value of, then con2, then value of con3, and value of con4. So if you take run this program, then what will be the output for this? So here con2 will be printed, con3 will be printed, and con4 is not there because we have only 3 type of enum is created inside this enum p. So in that cases you will get illegal argument exception. So this is the part of exception. We will also cover in the some of the section after this. So no enum constant is available. In that cases we have illegal argument exceptions will be there because section con4 is not there. If you add, then there will be no issues, no exception will come. Then we have a class R. Class R have inside enum, en, c1, c2, c3, c4. S is there. So in S, R, en. So inside this S, what we are doing, based on the class, then based on this class dot enum, also we can create the object. So how we are doing here? The class name is R dot enum name is en, R dot en. Then we are creating one reference for this object, and here also we are calling R dot en dot c4 means this will be called. Here also directly also you can do en dot en equal to e1 dot e like this. But here we are doing based on the class, then enum, class dot enum, and creating a reference, then class dot enum, and then enum value, whatever the enum has defined, enum variable. So if you'll put here, so C E1 is type of C4 here, so this will be printed, and E2 is type of C2, so C2 means this will be printed. So if you run this program, C4 and C2 will come from here inside this enum only. So this is, see here, day type enum has created. So day type is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So type of enum has created, and they created as a, so this day is enum has created. Now class T, what we are doing, we created the object days based on the enum name days d1 equal to days dot set, means Saturday will call, and days day 2's equal to days dot send, means Sunday will be called. So if you run this, so like that we mostly we use in this real time project. Once our some of the business requirement where we have to create a enum, and
It didn't come Sunday.
yeah, why is not coming, can you tell me the
You
reason?
printed D1, D1 both. Print D1,
Yeah,
D1.
yeah, so that's why it should be d2 here, so this is
Hmm.
some mistake. So if you do here, then you'll get a proper. So if you'll open this any of project from this, not here, like just I'm taking as a reference for this, but anywhere if you open any type of code, you will see somewhere enum has created, somewhere you will see some enums has been created. If you open this, you can check here, or later we will show you. Every project should have one enums or one or two, depends on the requirement, but you will see somewhere enums will be there, and how they are calling in business logic.
Hmm.
So here we have a enum v, so enum v has created, and inside that c1 c2 c3 is there, and inside this enum also we can create a constructor, a default constructor, parameterized constructors and all. So here inside this enum they created constructor, and constructor should have same name of enum name. So enum is b, so b type constructor here we created. If you are not creating is fine, but if you have requirement, then you can create a constructor inside this enum also. Now while the class w is a main method, so once main method, inside that if we call, we are creating the object. So object how we are creating, based on the class enum name, so v1 equal to v1 dot c3, so c3 is there, so c3 will be printed, and then sop of v1 will be c3 here. So if you run this program, so here you will get v1 equal to c3. So once object has created all this, three times this will be called like a constructor. If you put here c2, so this is the difference of enum here. If you put here as a c2, in that time what will happen, c2, this enum constructors, okay, and if we put here c1, in that case what will happen, so inside this enum we can create a constructor. But what will happen, suppose if you are doing, uh, we are creating a constructor, in that case whatever the enums you created, till that time all the constructor will be printed, I think. See here, so we have created four type of enum, right, and we have a one constructor is there inside this enum. So that will be once the object has created here v1 equal to v dot c3. So like that we are calling this c3 based on this v1 reference. We are calling this c3, but our constructor is there inside this enum. So constructor will call for all the enum. Either we have a 10 enum, 20 enum and all. So if you declare enum inside this constructor, then all this variables is there, which is defined for that constructor will call. So we have a section 11. So in this section 11, a class X is there. Inside that we created enum, and in this enum we have two things. One is some parameters is there, and others is also some parameters. So we have a enum which is con, and other is test. So two similar type of enum is there, but both have some parameters. Now we have also constructor is there based on the enum, that is parameterized constructor, right? And now we have a main method. So we are creating the object of enum a1, a1 equal to, now we are calling based on the enum dot test1 we are calling. So if you call this test1 means 200 will be there. So that 200 will be printed in this constructor. So that constructor is argument constructor. In that int of I value will be the 200. But what will happen in that case, in this SOP will be printed for all this enums we send, like whatever the enums is there. So con1 will be printed as 100 and con2 will be printed as a 200, and then this is test type. So this test will be printed, because not con, because we created the enums dot test. So this will be called 200 test will be called. But for the constructor also we have SOP. So inside that two constructor will call con 100 and test 200. So con 100 a int 100 and a int 200 will be there, and after that this test will be called. If you put here con, so this first enum will be called here con will be printed, but constructor parameterized constructor will call every time, and both the value will both those variables will call. So if you have argument means this 100 will be assigned int I. If you have others argument means 200 will be assigned int I. So only enums have this type of concept, which you will see in all the real-time project. Almost we complete all this concept from where we can use enum, what and all. So this is the Y program. Inside that enum is there. So enum, inside this enum we have some parameterized and all. So that also is possible because we have con type, all the constant type of enum is there, con1, con2. But in con2 we have some parameters, 90 is passing, con is there, con3 is there, and con4 is there. Or like con is also applicable, not an issue. So here con3 will be there, but con is also applicable, not an issue, and con4. So these all are similar type of constant variables are there, which have one is 90s parameter, another is a string type of parameters is there. Why? Because of we are creating the constructor. So we have created the constructor is default constructor, parameterized constructor, and this is a string. So one is default constructor means con1, parameterized constructor integer type means con2 90, and a string type of constructor means con4 abc, like this. Now based on that it will be called, like we have created the a enum is there. So we created the object a1 dot means this con4 means this will be called, abc will be called in that time. But before what will happen, and after that some SOP is there and al. So al will be called as a con4. But before that, if you see here, if you run this program, then we have how many constructor is there? So three type of constructor, and one is parameterized constructor, sorry, one is default constructor, other is parameterized constructor integer type. So 4 times as call, and third one is just a, is also as a default constructor, either con1, con3 or con a, anything is possible here. So this is also default constructor, and this is a string constructor. So this all has printed. Now we have a con4 because we are calling con4 only. So this dash 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 SOP will print it, then AL as a reference of con4, and con4 is a string type. So this will be printed.
So it's
So based on
automatic
the,
showing us, right? Okay, if this is integer, this is string.
sorry, can you repeat once again?
Oh, you're right. No, no, sorry. I see there just
Okay.
string. You write down a string, so the same string ABC. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So whatever you written in this double quote, that will be printed, and after that the value. Correct. So why we are using this constructor in enum, we will see in this real project. Suppose if you want to print something while we call the enum, in that cases mostly we can use constructor. So if you open any real project, you will see this things. They'll all, this all the concept you will see there only. So here we have a class J. This class J have enum. Enum is a con1 parameterize, con2 parameterize, con4 parameterize. Means 10, 30, 50 all are integer type. Now we have a non-static variable is there. Then we have a constructor. Constructor should be same name of enum. So enum is B. So B have, and parameterize is passing all are. So we should have a parameterized constructor. So integer type both are, because these all are numeric data. So integer we have created. Now this is this. So this will refer current class of constructor, current class, current enum and all. So here this dot I means the variable which we had defined, line number 7, means this dot I means current class of variables. This dot I means I type is variable which is available inside this current enum. This is enum, so current enum of variable. So this dot I equal to this I. So whatever the value will come inside this B constructor, integer type of I will come. So that value will assign inside this variable, line number 7. So we mentioned this. So this will happen inside the same class, same constructor, same class or same interface or same enum. But supers will be executed with the parent class, immediate parent class. So this means behave like this dot I means line number 7 variable means integer type of I, and equal to whatever the B constructor I value will come, that will be assigned inside this line number 7I. Now we have a main method. Inside this main method we created object b1, then we are calling b1 means b enum.conf4. So this will be printed here, and then we have a b1.i. So b1.i value will be printed because b1 means conf4. So conf4 is 50 here, right? So this 50 will come inside this constructor. So int I is 50. So this dot I value is 50, means integer I value is 50. Correct? Understand?
Yeah.
So here 50 is there. So this con b1 is con 4, right? So con 4 is 50. So this, once this will be called, constructor will call. So constructor int I value is 50 has assigned. So here this dot I means 50 because this I value is 50. So here assign this dot I, and this dot I is nothing but int type of I, this one, line number 7. So now I value is 50 assigned, and here what we are checking based on the reference. So b1 is the reference, b1 dot I, because non-static variable is there, so directly we cannot call. So b1 dot I means this 50 will be there. Like that we have a con2 and others. So if you run this program here, see here con4 has printed, then 50, then con2 and then 30. Now we will go for this z1. So this z1 have enum. So enum is this type of t1, t2, t3, t4, t5 is there. Then we have non-static method is there. So inside enum also we can create a non-static method, not an issue. Now what we are doing, we have main method, we created a enum object. So c1 equal to c dot t3. So c is a reference, c1 is a reference, and c is a enum. So enum dot t3 means t3 we are calling, and after that based on the reference we are calling test also, and then again we are creating the test c2 object. So c2 we are calling c dot t4, and then we are calling again non-static test method. So based on the reference we are calling non-static test method also. So if you print this, then form test and then dash dash will be printed because we are calling test method, and then this one, and then we are calling again test method here. So form test method will call, and this one. Now here what will be the output? So we have a enum inside this class j2, and inside this enum we have con 10, con 90, con 80 int I, and then we have a parameterized constructor, and this is referring this dot I means this line number 7 integer type of I. Whatever the I value will come from this constructor, that will be assigned this dot I as a integer I, right? And then we have a non-static test method which is integer type, so this have returned some I. In the same way we are creating the object, and then based on that con2 enum we are calling. So con2 means d1 will be printed as a con2, and d1 dot I means con2. So this con2 is 80, so this value will assign as a 80 is constructor, and this dot I will have a 80 value, so this dot I will assign from the integer I value, and so d1 dot I we are printing as a 80. Then d1 dot test we are calling, so this test d1 dot test, and then return I, so I value is 80, so that will be print d1 dot test. So if you run this program here, see this con2, then d1 dot I value is also 80, and d2 dot I value is also 80. Why? Because of the current I value is 80. So we have a integer type of method is there, line number 12. So we are returning some I, so current I value was 80. Now what again, we have created d2 con 2 con 1. So con type of 1 means con 1 means 90 value is there. Now constructor assign as a 90 I, so I value will come this dot I as a 90. So this dot I is nothing but line number 7 integer I, so I integer I assigned value is 90. So here d2 dot I means integer I will be called, because non-static with the call of variables reference dot I, so 90 will be printed. And then d2 dot test, so d2 dot test means this test method will call. Why? Because of non-static, so based on the reference we call this test method, and this test method has integer type, so this integer type have returned I, so I value is now 90, so this 90 has been printed. Now we have this one, so this one z3 we have enum, so inside this enum method is there, non-static method. The similar way we are calling this, we are calling e1, so e1 is a just non-parameterized, so we don't have any constructor for this case, so just e1 is there. So e1 we will print, e1 is a t1, so this t1 will be printed. Now we are calling method 1, so based on the reference e1 dot method 1 means this method will call, and method will be printed. Again the same way we have a e2 have a e2 is t2 type, so this t2 will call, and then this method will be printed because we are calling this method. So almost we completed the enum concept. This is a small topic from this Java enum. So like that also we can create a enum. So enum is a f type. Inside that we have t1 t2 comma t3 is there. and inside this t3 we have enum of t3, right? So inside this t3 also we can create a method. So that method we created, and this by using comma separator. So inside this t3 we created enum method one side that, and after that comma separator we created t4 and t5. So that is also applicable. Any of the enum you can create any of the non-static methods and all based on the open braces and close braces. So that like that we can create enum, and then t4 t5 is there. Then inside this we have method one, void method one. So this is inner method, we can say inner method because this is available inside this enum, and this is general method, this is available inside this enum class, and this is inside this enum variable, constant variable inside that. So this is inner method and this is outer method or general method, we can say both are similar type of method is there, but inner and outer is there. So see the difference. The once you create a f1 equal to f1 dot test t1, so this t1, and then in this case f2 t2 we are calling, f3 t3 we are calling, f4 t4 we are calling, and f5 t5 because we have total t1 t2 t3 t4 t5 is there. Now f1 dot method 1 we are calling, f1 dot method 1 means f1 is t1 type, so t1 dot method, so which method will call. And now f2 is this one t2, so t2 dot method 1 which method will call, and then f3 is a t3, so t3 dot method which method will call, and t4 and t5 like that. What type of method based on the business requirement we can create a inner method or general method or outer method. So see this. So only for this see t3, so this f3 is a part of t3. So t3 if you want some customized method or some customized operations if you want to perform inside this t3 enum, in that cases we can create a some general or some predefined or some others method, but others we are need a same type of method call, so we have used this method. So based on this reference we will call the method, but for this case t3 we are calling different method as a inner method. So in that time inner method will be printed, not outer method. So that's why we created like this enum. And this is the last concept of enum. So inside this enum we have a class inside this enum, inside this package we have class, inside this package we have enum, and this enum a b c d is there, it's a constant type with the separator of comma and then semicolon. And then we are creating x equal to x dot c means c enum will call, and here we have a switch statement which we already seen in this here we already seen here, right? Switch statement enum how we are calling here, this one, right? So this is the last concept which we are using here. So what we are checking here, either which type of enum is there, a type, b type, c type or d type. So hard coded, like we have created the object x1 enum class x1 x dot c means c type of enum is there. Now we need to check by using switch statement. So switch we created switch statement x1 is what type, x1 is right now c type is there because we hard coded here x1 dot c. So this is this enum x1 is a c type. Now we are checking one by one, either case 1 is a type, not then break, case b is b type, not then break, case c is c type, or case 3 anything you can make it a case 3 is a c type, not then break, case case 3 is a c type means that will be execute, and here conditions will break, and after that this won't be execute. If not, then case 4 will be execute, either d type is there or not, or always this statement will be execute like last statement 34. So like that we have covered. So if you run this program here, what will happen, like, so this is the C. So here we are putting x dot c. So this switch statement will come as a x1 as a c, and this first statement will false, second statement will false, means break, and third statement will satisfy the conditions. So this SOP will print as a in C. In C will be the output in that case. So almost we completed inner mm, enum we completed. Now tomorrow is off, I think. So tomorrow uh, we will connect on 2nd of Jan. So tomorrow is 30th,
Yeah, Saturday,
31st.
Sunday, and Monday off.
Monday is off. So we will connect on Tuesday,
Okay.
and Tuesday we will complete on this section 12. So section 12, 12 or 13. So today we will next we will complete this section 12 or 13. We will see like what is the next topic inside that, and then according to that we will complete. In
So
between
this
you can revise.
how much time it will take the Java, then it start with Angular, right?
Yes. So if you need like we can cover in Java within 2-3 days also. But if you
No, no,
need
you
this
take
way,
time.
like,
Mm-hmm.
huh? If
You
you
take
need in
time.
this way, yeah, okay, okay. So if you need in this way, so we have
Mm-hmm.
till now 11 I covered. So 11 section is remaining is there. So if you will complete these all 11 sections more, then you will expertise in Java like by using programming concept. Theoretical easily
Hmm.
we can search like what is and all is there in, right?
Yeah.
Like enum is a only two part of there. This is the theoretical part. But if you need whole Java programming concept, like how we are calling enum, inside the enum how we will create a method, inside this enum how many way we can create a constructor, how we are calling constructor, and how we are creating a method and objects inside that enum, can we create inside the class as a enum, and can we call multiple enum, can we pass the parameterize in enum, like that. If you need all those operations based on the particular topic, then it will take time. So till now we cover section 11, and remaining 10 or 11 sections already there. So it takes 10 working days, 10
Mm-hmm.
working days also. So if you need in that way we can go, or else we have
Yeah.
directly will go. So within 2-3 days we can complete this job.
No, no, this way is fine.
Okay. So 10 more days it will take for, I think, as per my understanding. After
Okay.
that core Java will complete it. Then we will go for the all this, because core Java is the main part. Once you cover this all the concept, then easily we can grasp up all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But parallelly I can suggest you take one program from here, any one, not from here, any of, if you are familiar of any websites and all. In that case you can go for Java guide or somewhere, and just take any of, you can directly download this project already I shown you before, and try to understand all the logic which I have already covered, like here, which I already covered all those programmings and concept till now. We completed section 11. So we covered enums, we created object, we created method, we created a static block, we created non-static, we created this, we created supers, we created increment, decrement, and we covered constructor, many things we covered. So just you go for full stack and downloads any of the project from here. If you want React, then go for the React and download one project of source code. So source code is also available here. GitHub path will be there. Inside this GitHub path, just download and try to search like where we are using enum, either whatever the concept we covered, either we are using this concept in our real project or not. So if you'll see here, the source code is there, the source code, and just
Mm.
try to check either we are using all the concept inside that or not. Every concept we are using, whatever till now we discuss, everything we are using inside this. Not here, in any project. If you will download from any project from the Google or somewhere, just you'll see. So this is front end, and mostly we will check in back end, not in front end, because back Java will be covered in this back end part. So inside this main we have a Java, a Spring Boot project. So inside this controller, exception, model, and repository there is there. So somewhere we are using enum. You can check where we are using enum. If not, then others also you can check like this. Okay, can we close here?
Yeah.
Open all this concept here and then check what all are those. Okay, then Tuesday we will continue with the same time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Aditya.
Happy New
Bye.
Year to all.
Take this link.